Good morning. Welcome to the E3 Weekly Market Report. It's August the 3rd. Markets have we just had exports come out. We're going to go straight to those right now and take a look at what we've got. Cotton net sales, and this is still old crop, so this is going to be small. 55,700, marketing year low. We have Taiwan taking 3,000, India 1,700, Turkey 1,300. And then we did have some cancellations in South Korea, canceled 20,000. Vietnam canceled 14,000. Pakistan canceled 11,000. Let's look at new crop. This is where the real story is. 2017, 2018 net sales of 126,500. And let's look at the breakdown there. South Korea took 22,400. Mexico took 20,800. Vietnam took 18,800. Actual shipments of 275,300. Now the cotton market was down 15 just before this report. Right now, cotton in December is down 28 at 70.06. Next, we'll go to soybeans. Net sales of 233,400 for 2016-17, up 43% from the previous week, but down 20% from the 4-week average. Germany took 139,700 metric tons. Netherlands took 75,900 metric tons. And Bangladesh took 57,200 metric tons. Soybeans were down 14.5 going into this. Right now, soybeans in November are down 13.5. Next, corn. 36,700 metric tons, a marketing year low for 2016-2017, down 60% from the previous week, down 83% from the 4-week average. China took 93,400. Colombia took 43,300 metric tons. Mexico took 31,200 metric tons. There were cancellations. Unknown destinations canceled 198,500 metric tons. For new crop in corn, 2017-2018, net sales of 438,300. Mexico took 176,200. Peru took 97,200. Unknown destinations took 62,300. Corn just before the report was down 3. Now corn is down 3 1/4. The next, wheat. Net sales of 145,500. That's a marketing year low for 2017-2018. That's down 71% from the previous week and down 69% from the 4-week average. Indonesia took 41,700 metric tons. Philippines took 34,500 metric tons. Colombia took 22,800 metric tons. Wheat, just before the report, was down in September. Wheat, Chicago, down 2.5. Right now, it's down 3 1/4. Let's just talk very briefly about recent action in the market. We've had some pretty good movement over the last few weeks. First starting, and we'll make a comment about seasonals after we get through with this, but the cotton market back on the low was made in cotton July the 14th. We had a rally of 430 points through today. Today was the high when we got up to 70.58. The low back on July 14th was 66.28. Why the rally? Well, it appears that a tight cash market, also speculative or funds buying came into the market. We also had heard that the funds were starting to buy softs, not just cotton, but cotton, cocoa, coffee, sugar, orange juice. Just they were considering that an area to invest more money in, and that we think the combination of those things have been supportive to the market. What now? Well, we could get follow through. December cotton right now is trading just above 70. This market could push up to 71 cents to 72 cents. But with good rains, and we've seen good rains in West Texas, the market seems to have ignored that. More rain is coming in those areas that have been much need of rain at an important time. But if that does start coming into the market, then we could see this thing retreat back down towards 66 to 67 cents. Later, we could see the market moving lower. If we see that we've had good crops around the world with very big acres, we could see this market later on testing especially in the March, testing the low 60s, maybe even testing 60-cent level. But that would have to come later when we see we've got the crop put away. Next, let's go to soybeans and corn and wheat. Soybeans made a high back on July the 11th in November beans at 10.47. The low was made overnight at 9.58 3/4. That's an 88.25-cent drop in soybeans. Corn on the same day had a high. That's July the 11th, a high of 4.17 for December corn. The low was made overnight at 3.75. That's a drop of 42.25 cents. September wheat found its high July the 5th of 5.7. That's September wheat, a high of 5.74.5. The low was made yesterday at 4.55 3/4. So September wheat had a full drop of $1.18 3/4. We've had good sell-offs over the last 3 weeks to the last month. And as far as why the sell-off, improving weather in the Midwest, that's been part of it. Also, speculators that have been long that market had liquidated and have actually started getting short, and that seems to have exaggerated the move to the downside. What now in beans and corn and wheat? August typically, as you get into August, we typically have a seasonal bounce. Can't tell you how much that typically is good for, but that's the seasonal tendency. Is around the first part of August, late July, we start to move up. And typically that seasonal lasts into maybe the third week of August, and the market starts to roll over and moves over and oftentimes makes its low of the year around the first part of October. That's the seasonal tendency. Whether it'll continue or not, don't know, but that's what it's done in the past. Comment about seasonals. Well, we talked about that. Also in cotton, the tendency is for the market to hold together and firm up over at least the first half of August. This market's not been exactly normal, so I don't know if it's going to follow that pattern or not, but it could. It could be that we just hang in this level and trade sideways, and then eventually as we get later in the month, we really start to move back down. I think that's possible. Or it's possible we could move up to 71 to 72 and then roll back over. Right now, we're down 2. Even though this export figure, the immediate reaction was negative and we dropped, it's come right back up to even higher levels than we were. So there are willing buyers in the cotton market anytime we dip, or at least that's the case right now. Let's look one last time at these markets. December cotton down 2 at 70.32 in December. November soybeans down 14 at 9.63.5. December corn down 3.25 at 3.75 3/4. And September wheat down 3.5 at 4.57 1/4. That's it. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the E3 Weekly Market Report.